Steel doors slam shut. Judges freeze. Lawyers panic. Police officers reach for their weapons. And standing in the middle of the courtroom is a grieving husband holding a gun and a bomb trigger. But this man is not a terrorist. He is a court security officer who spent his entire life protecting the justice system, until the justice system protected the people who murdered his wife. This is the story of a man who discovered that sometimes the law does not punish the guilty. Sometimes, it buries the truth. In the crowded heart of Jakarta, Raka works as a court security officer. Every single day, he watches criminals walk through metal detectors, sees corrupt lawyers twist facts into lies, and listens to judges argue over technicalities while victims cry outside the courtroom. But despite everything, Raka still believes in justice. Because if he stops believing, then none of this means anything. Raka is not rich. He is not powerful. He is simply a disciplined man trying to build a peaceful life with the woman he loves. His wife, Nina, is everything to him. She is intelligent, compassionate, and fiercely honest. Unlike many lawyers chasing money and influence, Nina wants to defend innocent people. She wants to become the kind of lawyer who fights for truth instead of manipulating it. And tonight is supposed to be the happiest night of their lives. Just 1 hour earlier, Nina called Raka with tears in her eyes. She passed her bar exam. For the first time in years, they allow themselves to dream about the future. A better apartment. Their unborn child. A life outside endless struggle. That same evening, Raka receives a strange opportunity. A wealthy businessman offers him an expensive dinner at a luxury hotel in exchange for additional security. The rich man fears retaliation because his son was recently released from a criminal case that many people believed he should have lost. An angry mother of one of the victims has reportedly threatened to attack him publicly. Raka hesitates. The offer feels wrong, but he sees it as a chance to celebrate Nina's success somewhere they could never normally afford. So he accepts. The hotel is beautiful. Golden lights reflect across polished marble floors. Wealthy guests laugh over wine while soft piano music fills the air. For a brief moment, Raka and Nina forget about the ugliness of the world. Until Nina discovers who paid for the dinner. Her smile disappears instantly. She recognizes the businessman's name, a man rumored to have escaped justice through bribery and political influence. Nina becomes furious. How can you collect gift from people like this, she asks. Raka tries to explain that he is just doing his job, but the argument grows louder. Finally, Nina sighs and excuses herself to the restroom, needing a moment alone. That decision changes everything. As she walks through the hallway, she accidentally bumps into a young man named Dika. His phone crashes onto the floor. Nina immediately apologizes and bends down to help him, but Dika keeps staring at her. Something about his expression feels wrong. Cold, predatory. Nina quickly walks away and enters the women's restroom. A few seconds later, Dika follows her inside. What happens next is brutal. The restroom falls silent. No screams escape the walls. Minutes pass. Back at the table, Raka begins checking his phone repeatedly. Nina never takes this long. A waiter named Zaka notices his concern and offers to help look for her. Together, they walk toward the restroom corridor. Then they see it. Blood slowly spreading across the floor. Raka rushes inside and finds Nina collapsed beside the sink in a pool of blood, a shattered glass shard buried deep in her side. Time stops. His hands shake violently as he holds her. She is gone. Then suddenly, a man bursts out from one of the restroom stalls. Dika. The killer tries to run, but Raka's grief instantly becomes rage. He chases Dika through the hallway, slamming guests aside before tackling him to the ground in front of horrified hotel staff. Police arrive moments later. Dika is arrested. And with witnesses, fingerprints, and the murder weapon recovered, the case appears airtight. For the first time since Nina's death, Raka believes justice will be served. But then the defense attorney arrives. Timo. A man feared even by other lawyers. Timo is brilliant, charismatic, and completely morally bankrupt. He does not care whether his clients are guilty or innocent. To him, the courtroom is merely a game. And he always wins. The trial begins. At first, everything seems normal. But slowly, reality starts changing. Witnesses suddenly alter their testimonies. Evidence disappears from storage. Technical procedures are challenged. Simple facts become uncertain. And then Timo launches his true strategy. He accuses Raka himself. According to Timo, the grieving husband murdered Nina during their argument and framed Dika in panic afterward. The courtroom erupts. Timo presents hotel footage showing Raka and Nina arguing before she entered the restroom. Then comes the devastating detail. Raka's fingerprints are found on the glass shard used in the murder. The prosecution tries to explain that Rocca touched the weapon while attempting to save his wife, but doubt has already infected the courtroom. Even worse, waiter Zaka changes his statement. Earlier, he claimed he walked with Rocca into the restroom area. Now he says he arrived later and never witnessed what happened beforehand. Rocca sits frozen in disbelief. This is the same courtroom he protected for years. The same justice system he trusted with his life. And now it is destroying his wife's memory piece by piece while the real killer watches calmly from behind his lawyer. Every day, Timo smiles in court like a man performing theater. Because to him, truth is irrelevant. Perception is everything. That night, Rocca sits alone in darkness inside his apartment. Nina's photograph rests on the table beside him. The silence feels unbearable. Then something inside him changes. If the system refuses to uncover the truth, he will uncover it himself. Using his knowledge of court procedures and legal loopholes, Rocca begins investigating outside the law. He contacts an old-school friend skilled in digital tracing and asks him to locate waiter Zaka before the final hearing. At the same time, Rocca secretly follows Timo. What he discovers shocks him. His lawyer and Timo has been meeting privately with Dika's wealthy father. Money is changing hands. Witnesses are being pressured. Evidence was deliberately erased. And somewhere in all of this, the original CCTV recording from the hotel disappeared. Rocca realizes the case was corrupted from the beginning. The court was never searching for justice. It was protecting power. As the final judgment day arrives, Rocca makes a terrifying decision. If the court will not reveal the truth willingly, he will force it to. The courtroom doors suddenly lock from the inside. Panic explodes. Police officers draw weapons. Judges scream for order. And standing before everyone is Rocca, holding a handgun in one hand and a bomb trigger in the other. The nation watches in horror as news spreads instantly across social media. But Rocca does not demand money. He does not demand escape. He demands one thing only: a new hearing. At first, the judge refuses. Then Rocca makes a promise. Anyone unrelated to the case will be released safely. One by one, innocent civilians leave the courtroom trembling. Only the people connected to Nina's case remain trapped inside. Then Rocca asks for the proceedings to be live-streamed online. The judge reluctantly agrees. Millions begin watching. For the first time, the corruption hidden inside the courtroom is exposed directly to the public. Timo still tries to maintain control. Even under pressure, he attacks every accusation calmly. But then, a live broadcast suddenly interrupts the hearing. It is Zaka, the missing waiter. Terrified and shaking, he confesses everything live on camera. Timo threatened him. The CCTV footage was deleted under orders, and Dika's family paid to manipulate the case. Then Zaka reveals the final piece of evidence: a backup recording. The entire courtroom watches in silence as the footage plays. Dika entering the women's restroom. Nina trying to escape. The attack. The murder. The truth can no longer be denied. For the first time during the entire trial, Timo loses his smile. The courtroom explodes into chaos. Dika is sentenced to prison. His father is convicted for evidence tampering and corruption. Timo's law license is permanently revoked, and he is sentenced for obstruction of justice and criminal conspiracy. And Rocca? Despite exposing the truth, he is still sentenced to 2 years in prison for armed disruption of court proceedings. Because even though the system was broken, the law still demands consequences. But as Rocca is escorted away in handcuffs, something has finally changed. The entire country now knows what happened to Nina. The truth survived. And sometimes, that is the only justice left. Justice dies the moment truth can be bought. Rocca broke the law, but only after the law failed his wife. So tell me, was he a criminal or the only man brave enough to fight back? Comment your thoughts, share this story, and subscribe for more unforgettable movie recaps.